Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 16th to the 30th, 2021 money and career reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Cancer. September 16th to the 30th, 2021 Cancer, money and career. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Excuse me. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. So at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. At the bottom, we have the Wheel of Fortune. A lot of things are changing. And then we have the Mage. So as things change, we're being called to stand before the altar of our existence to really focus on what our mind is thinking and focusing on, and how we're building ourselves forward, and the magic that we're letting into ourselves. It's kind of like the blessings that are around us. At our inner self, we have the Craftsman of Air, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There is a sense of really using the breath, the mind, the power of the voice, and the power of thought to really move us forward to a higher level. It brings us to the Six of Earth. And the Six of Earth, the Six of Pentacles, is finding a balance. It's finding a balance with what we're creating and how we want to move forward with our prosperity, with the expectations of others, with the expectations of ourselves, how we're building ourselves to a higher place and to embracing a higher form of success, but also balance within our lives. It moves us to our it moves us to our emotional self. And we have the Hierophant, so that's Taurus energy. If we have Taurus energy within our natal chart, then this is going to be coming through very powerfully within our heart, just like if we have air sign energy within our natal chart, or if we're born on the cusp with Gemini, this part of our personality is going to be coming out very powerfully in our inner self. We then have the Ten of Wands. We need to put down the burden that we're carrying. We've been carrying it too long. It's been too much a part of us. Our hearts are saying, why? Why am I weighing myself down with this? It moves us then to our public arena self. We have the Six of Swords, moving forward, really kind of jumping through obstacles and being able to find a place that we want to stand. And then the Knight of Pentacles, earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, amplifying the Taurus energy at our hearts, but also telling us that we are a warrior. We are a warrior of our prosperity, our finances, of the way that we want to move forward, of what we're calling into our lives. And there's a sense here of slowly and steadily moving towards our goals and moving towards what we truly want within ourselves. Now let's look at the energy we have to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Cancer needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's the Lord. Now, this can also be telling us to be very mindful of our bosses or the people that are asserting control over certain things. It could be somebody who's stepping in and saying, you know what, I got this. I absolutely know what's going on. And you're looking at them and you're like, you know nothing. You know, what the heck are you doing here? Don't let somebody, just because they think that they can just kind of fake it, they can put forward enough bravado that they can usurp the knowledge that you have. That's going to be very important. There's also going to be a sense here of kind of thinking that force, that bravado equals that they're right. And that's going to be something that we have to be very mindful of within ourselves, to say, no, I'm stepping back. I'm looking at things objectively. I'm looking at things, you know, in alignment with where I want to be, how I want to move forward within my career, what I desire for myself. And you can move forward in prosperity and success and still walk gently and still be kind. You know, it's saying that I hold my values, I hold what I need, I hold what I desire very, very dear to me. And I'm seeing the evolution into power because of that. So the energy that we're to be mindful of is just thinking that force equals right. And that's not the case. And that's something that the whole world, I think, here really has to come to an awakening of. It then moves us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. And it's angels and masters. This is angels and divinity being around us. We are not alone. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. This is a sense of our angels wrapping their wings around us, an alignment of our chakra energy, but also the energy of our bodies, the energy of ourselves. We're becoming more aware of who we are, of what's right for us and what isn't right for us, of the way that we want to move forward and the way that we don't want to move forward. You know, there's a sense here that simplicity doesn't equal bad. What our angels and spirit guides are going to be showing us is that doors can open, but because they're not the flashy, you know, neon light doors with the really loud music inside, we won't be as drawn to it, because it's going to be quieter, it's going to be gentler, and there's nothing wrong with that. It moves us to the Wheel of Fortune. We're entering into a new season, and I love this card because they have the different seasons here depicted. And so what we're going to see is that as we enter into this new season, it can be something that maybe we're not that thrilled about. You know, maybe we're thinking, you know, I'm not moving forward the way that I want to, or this isn't where I want it to be at this time. I want it to be at this point in my career, in my finances, in whatever. And divinity is saying, step back. Step back and look at what's truly important to you. Look at the energy you get to embrace because of the knowledge that's coming forward during this time. And it's also saying, look at the power that comes from this season. There's power in winter, even though we would want it to be summer or spring. There's power in fall, even though we might not want it to be. So we're looking at the power that is around us, the power that is a part of us, the power that is us entering into the season, this different way of thinking, this different way of understanding, this different way of analyzing, and being able to say, wow, there really is power and determination and focus to me that I get to embrace. It moves us to the Magician. And the Magician says, as above, so below. As I believe it, so it becomes. There's power within our mind. When it comes to our careers, you know, have you ever gotten to a point in your career or when you're working somewhere and you just hate it? Like, getting out of bed is just the biggest chore in the whole entire world. And nothing has really changed. Like, you could have certain things change, right? But it's still the same job. And if we were able to stay in our own headspace of positivity, maybe it wouldn't be so horrible. Or it wouldn't be so overwhelming. So the Magician says, as above, so below. As we believe it, so it becomes. But there are also times where our angels and our spirit guides will be telling us, this is not for you. There's more meant for you than what you are selling yourself short for, or what you think that you're supposed to be doing. So during this time, we need to find this balance. We need to find the balance of the season that we're supposed to be a part of, the change of the energy that we're supposed to be embracing. There can also be this fear that if I change, if I step out of what is comfortable, what is, you know, routine, what will happen? What will catch me? You know, what if I go off and do something that doesn't have a 401k and doesn't have, you know, XYZ? Is that okay for me? But there's also a sense here of, why can't I do 2 things at once? Why can't I open up the door and embrace my power and look at my blessings? There's also a sense that the magic that centers us, the power and the brilliance within us, it doesn't have to be a full-time job. It can be a hobby. It can be something on the side that just brings us into ourselves. And there's beauty and power in that. As long as we're embracing our elemental power, as long as we're saying, I see me, I understand me, and I'm opening myself up to me, there's magic in that. And we become aware of our mind. We become aware when our tempers are a bit hot, or when we're frustrated and tired and overwhelmed. And that moves us to being the craftsman of air. It's like being able to form air. I don't know if you guys have ever watched The Airbender, but the list Bender. But there's this sense of being able to form air. That's like what I'm seeing here, is being able to dance with it, mold it, breathe it in, let it become a part of us, and then see how it's guiding us forward. There's so often a sense of, I've done everything on my own. Nobody has helped me. Nobody has, gotten me to where I want to be but me. But if we step back and we say, no, there have been these connections. There has been this energy, even if it's just with our angels and our spirit guides, even if it's just listening to our gut and being able to say, you know what, I need to change this. You know what, I'm not in the right place for me. Or you know what, I'm not going to be hanging out with that person anymore. And that's going to actually help us when it comes to our careers, when it comes to our money, because we're going to start to say, wow, there's an intuitive power to me that is important. There's a way where I'm like, okay, this is right for me and this isn't. And the craftsman of air is being able to mold and craft our voice, is being able to embrace the power of our insight and our ideas and our abundance and our understanding, and being able to look at things in multifaceted different ways. In our inner self, there isn't just going to be one right road to take. There's going to be a multitude of roads that guide us forward, that help us see things differently, that add to the power of our knowledge and our voice. And this is also going to be a time where we could find journaling to be astoundingly helpful, but also talking things out if we're not journalers, being able to sit there and just express and look at different ideas and different wants and different needs. Now here we have the Six of Earth. I see this as a dragon in the rocks, kind of slumbering as the lizards, which when I was little, I always thought were little dragons, would go and get a drink. Now, there is something here of the balance, of the greater helping the lesser. But there is also something here about being able to share, a resource that is absolutely important. This is a time to say, in my life, is there a balance? Is there a sharing of resources? Is there a harmony of power on this earth for me? A way that I'm moving forward towards prosperity, towards success? Am I being pulled in too many directions? Is everything being expected of me and yet no gratitude being given back? It moves us to the Hierophant. In our hearts, we have to be true to ourselves. We're also going to be a little bit traditional. So during this time, or a lot traditional, depending on our personalities, during this time, there's going to be nothing wrong with that. And there never is anything wrong with that. It's saying, what is right for me? What are my traditions? What are my values? What's intrinsically important? What's powerful? What's beautiful? What guides me forward? And as I embrace this wisdom, I embrace me. I embrace my insight. I embrace my ideas. And this is also the major arcana marriage card. Even though we're talking about money and career, it's like, what am I married to? Am I finding myself more and more married to my career? Am I finding myself more and more always looking at the bottom line, almost as if I'm being married to money? What is it that I want to be married to? What is it that I want to have that sacred connection with in my life? How I want to move forward and the blessings that I want to be around me. That's going to be an important thing to say. Marriage is maybe an odd way of defining it, of looking at it, and of expressing it, but it does make sense. And so when Spirit says, what are your traditions? What is it that you desire? What is it that you are sacredly bounded to? That's going to be an important thing during this time. This is also going to be a time where, we might kind of want to quit everything, run away, and join the circus. Now, if that's part of who we innately are, we need that freedom of expression, that freedom of movement, that nomadic life, that type of existence, then that's great. But we also have to be mindful of when we're letting things kind of get out of hand, where we're letting ourselves not really filter our thoughts, look at ourselves, sit in our knowledge. It moves us then to the Ten of Wands. There's a point here when it comes to our careers emotionally where we can feel overwhelmed, where we can feel underappreciated, not really looked at properly. And so the Ten of Wands weighs us down. It weighs us down to the point where all we can see is the dirt on our feet. All we can see is the mud before us, the roads that have been trodden again and again and again, showing nothing different, nothing beautiful. And if you are like me, and I think most human beings, we need to have beauty within our lives. We need to stop and, just admire the sunset and the sunrise and the way the moon hangs in the sky that day and the way the stars align. We need to connect ourselves again with the earth and beauty and brilliance. That helps us with our career because it starts to recharge us. It starts to amplify us. It starts to move us forward. We're letting some things go, and we have to within our careers. But also maybe within what we think we can accomplish. We might be the type of person who always bites off more than they can chew. Kind of bad with time management. I know that's me, where it's kind of like, oh, well, that won't take that long. I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. And then when you sit down to do it all, you're like, wow, I don't have enough hours in any of the days. Like, my goodness, this is too much. And then you become overwhelmed and you want to walk away. So this is a time where we say, okay, you know what? I'm maybe going to break things down. I'm only going to do it for 10 minutes. Maybe even 5 minutes if 10 minutes is too overwhelming. I'm going to do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm going to see how far I get. And then I'm going to leave that behind. Or I'm going to do it again the next day. So I don't burn out. So I'm still inspired. So I can still move forward. And this is going to be very good for our hearts because we're letting down all the weight that we're saying, okay, I have to already have had XYZ done by now. And now we're saying, okay, I'm taking a slower approach. I'm taking a calmer approach. And I'm embracing my prosperity and my success and my bounty. And I'm also telling people, you have to carry your own burdens. I cannot carry everything. I cannot hold on to everything. So some people will have to kind of pick up and do a little bit more than maybe they're doing. Or we have to step back and let certain people learn their lessons, see things through, kind of learn the hard way. Learn the teapot is hot by touching it, even though you've told them, don't touch it, it's hot. And a little toddler or, child comes up, touches the teapot and goes, oh no, hot, and then they learn. So it's not a dangerous thing. It's kind of like, okay, these lessons have to be learned and we have to understand them. And if you're not going to believe me, maybe you have to do it yourself. It brings us to the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is a sense of, I'm moving forward. And we're going to be moving forward in a way where we see obstacles come in, we see things that have held us back, and we're like, no, now I'm moving forward. Now I'm going after it. Now I'm leaving hardships behind. I'm leaving certain things behind that have held us back, doubts within our own mind, but we've also gathered up our thoughts, gathered up our knowledge, gathered up what we need, and be able to embrace our success, our prosperity, and our abundance, to say that there's more here than meets the eye. This can be a little bit of a rocky road at times. It can be emotionally a bit overwhelming, so do be mindful of that. But it leads us to the Knight of Pentacles. It leads us to a place of prosperity, success, bounty, abundance. It leads us to slowly and steadily moving towards our goals. The Knight of Pentacles, though we would always like this to be the fastest moving of the knights, is the slowest. So what we are building here takes time, but what we are building is sacredly protected. So this is going to be very important for us. We're going to see ourselves moving forward in financial success. We're going to see us moving forward in different insights and different ideas and different ways that we want to embrace our world. And that's going to be important for us. And also really looking at the seeds that we have planted, the hard work that we have put in, and starting to say things get to progress, whether they progress exactly the way that we wanted them to, or whether we say, you know what, it's time to look at a new road. It's time to look at, new ideas. It's time to broaden my idea of what wealth is. That becomes astoundingly important. It moves us then to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and it's the star. We have to be very mindful of making wishes our only aim and letting people sell us dreams that will never come to fruition because they only are really nice words put together. They have nothing behind them. So do be mindful of that. It moves us then to our subconscious chakra energy, which is divine wisdom. And this is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. There's divine wisdom, there's insight, there's understanding raining down on us. There's this sense of, wow, I never saw it that way, or oh my goodness, I didn't look at it, which is the same thing, I never saw it that way. I didn't look at it like that, or oh, wow, I never even knew that existed. listening to our wisdom, listening to the insight and the connection to spirit and divinity that's coming forward that helps guide us, listening to, kind of the thoughts that pop in our heads through our minds, connecting things. We can say that that's divinity, but we can also say, wow, my brain is putting these things together, forming these pathways, these ideas that I never had before. And that's kind of awesome. That's, when these revelations come. It moves us then to our subconscious rooted message, and that's the Empress. This is being able to embrace our prosperity and success. This is being able to embrace a throne we never knew we had, and a bounty we didn't think could be ours. And so as we embrace this success, as we embrace our prosperity, as we look at things with, these new eyes, but also with this creative impact of, this is what I'm nurturing, this is what I'm developing, this is what I want for my life, we start to see new power, we start to see new beauty coming in. And it's almost as if, the will-o'-the-wisps here are flying through. It's almost as if we're nurturing dreams that we almost let slip away. And that's going to be really important for us. It moves us to our subconscious inner self. And that is Journey. Now, Journey is in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, Temperance. So what we're going to see here is that the balance is needed on the journey. I love Journey because, I'm reading Brandon Sanderson right now, The Way of Kings, and he says, it's journey before destination. We're always so fixated on where we are supposed to be and how we are supposed to be perceived. But what if it's the journey that means everything? What if it's the act of the travel, the act of the acquiring, the act of, not the acquiring as in physical possessions, so much as the act of acquiring of dreams and desires and the movement and the seeing what's intrinsically important to us and what isn't. During this time, we can look at things and say, well, I didn't reach this goal by this age, or I did reach this goal and I don't feel as fulfilled as I thought I would. Or, there could be a myriad of things where it's like, I haven't found where I feel contented. And it's like, embrace the journey. Embrace the way forward. Embrace, taking a different path or looking at things through different eyes. See what is to be seen. And let yourself embrace the scenery. Instead of everything having to have a goal. It's like in the inner self. It's like, let yourself just enjoy it. Let yourself take it all in. It moves us then to our emotional self, and that it's the Five of Wands. We have a bit of chaos coming on. We have a bit of, fighting and a sense of, are my emotions right? Or, is my passion getting the best of me? Am I being overwhelmed here? And so with the Five of Wands, we kind of have to step back and say, what is the chaos that I'm used to? Am I kind of addicted to chaos, addicted to stress, addicted to feeling overwhelmed, addicted to anxiety, and why? And why do I need this within my life? And how do I step back from it and say, no, you don't get to have a hold on me? And also, where are the battles that we fought with others? When we're having a confrontation or a disagreement at this time, do we bring forward all the different disagreements, confrontations, hurts, and pains that we've had in the past that we have to kind of step away from? It moves us then to our subconscious public arena self. And that is the Queen of Cups. That's us. We are prosperity and success and bounty and abundance. We are the Queen. We need to embrace our emotions and our desires. The healing waters surround us, and we are stepping into a greater power than we realized and a greater emotional truth than we had seen. So when it comes to work, when it comes to our finances, we're starting to find peace. We're starting to find harmony. We're starting to say, wow, I can walk forward this way with a centering of my soul, of myself, and of what I greatly desire. And that's powerful. That's a powerful place for me to walk. So don't underestimate yourself because you're not taking the path of everybody else here, Cancer. Because your path is brilliant. And your destination is profound. All right, Cancer. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the knowledge and the journey to come, and that we're in right now. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Cancer.